You're really smart. Okay, so log equation, step one, find the operation. Operation is addition, which is multiplication. Great. So condense log base 9 x plus 2 times 4. And for me, just going to put the 4 like right there to throw times, and I'm going to do distributive property. Equals 2. And then step 2, Guinan circle or cross out. Guinan circle. Great job. 9 squared equals x plus 2 times 4. 81 equals 4x plus 8. Ew, is this going to have a bad answer? Is that 73? Did anyone do this one already? Did you check it in the calculator? Oh, let's check it in the calculator. Do you guys remember how to check it in the calculator? Go to log base. Nine, 18.25 plus 2 plus log base 9 of 4. And what do we want it to equal? 2. And it does. Yes, honey. You just, you mean like if it, so, okay. If there's only one answer and it doesn't equal, then cross it out, write no solution. If there's two answers and only one of them doesn't equal, cross out the one that doesn't work and box the one that does work. But if there's nothing that works, write no solution. Excellent question. Okay, last one of these. Log base 4 of, okay, and subtraction is division. Okay, Guinan circle or cross out. Cross out, excellent. Okay, and then for me, I will put the 50 over 1 and cross multiply. 10 times 1 is 10. 50 times 4x is 200x. Okay, so notice how I put 4 times x and I put the 0.05 there. Okay, and now I'm going to check to make sure that's the same thing as log base 4 of 50. And it is. Check. Do you guys have any questions about either of those? So 2 steps. Figure out the operation. It's either multiplication or division. That's your only 2 options. And then figure out if it's giant circle or crossed out. And if you need to, cross multiply. And then use your calculator to check your answers. Okay, now go to the warm-ups from yesterday. You guys said this one was in the video, but this one was not. Correct? Do you guys have this one written down? Yes or no? Okay. Um, can somebody just give me the answer for it so that we have it? Okay, let's do this one real quick. Was that it? Okay. Okay. So I start with x. The first thing that happens to it is log base 4. The second thing that happens to it is minus 8. Okay, inverse. The first thing that would happen would be plus 8. And then undoing log base 4 is 4 to the power. Y inverse equals. Okay, now I can see this is going to be 4 to the power. I need to start with my x up here and plus 8 first, and then 4 to the power. Now you can do that in 2 steps. If it doesn't occur to you to put it up in the exponent, you can like write it so it looks awkward and then fix it. Okay, now can you guys find the resource page for 99 to 106, please? Oh, actually, no, I lied. Can you find the quiz review worksheet first? What can I help you with? Connor. Okay. Oh, I know exactly what you're going to ask about. Is it because, okay. Okay. So let me ask you this first. Operation is plus, so, okay, great. You're on the right track. I have 2 guesses as to what your question is, but I'm not sure. So, okay. Does that, what, already? Okay, but does it make sense what I did? Okay, now this is the next question. If there's no, so this is a Guinan circle problem. I can tell because there's no log on this side. What's the base if there's nothing there? Connor, doesn't make sense so far. Okay, so I'm gonna guess for some of you, one of my students from, so Miss Rice wasn't here Monday, and one of my students from Math 1 that's in her class now came and asked me about this one Monday at lunch. So I was like, I bet this is going to this part right here is going to mess some people up. Okay, that student from Miss Rice's class put this in the calculator and then tried to square root it, and it didn't come out like the answer. But he didn't notice that those are both perfect squares. So you should just square root it as it is. Like square root of 64 is 8, and the square root of 9 is 3. He tried to do it in the calculator and it came out like wonky decimal, and then he couldn't get it back to 8/3. Was that helpful, honey? Okay. Next question. Quiz review. Okay. So did you get the first part set up? Gio? Okay. Do you see one angle and one side that are across from each other? 14 and B. Beautiful. Sine 14 over B equals. And then do you see another angle and side that are across from each other? Beautiful. Sine 61 over 29. So sine of the angle over the side across equals sine of the angle over the side across. Cross multiply. Okay, but we're not done because it says solve the triangle, which means that we need to find the whole thing. Um, now, do you know how to find this angle right here? Everyone in the whole class needs to know how to find that angle. Yes, I just need to remind you that that's a thing. Okay, so do you guys remember how I was saying to use the stuff that's in the book and or on the paper on the printed on the paper and not your stuff that you rounded? So for the next one, I would use sine 61 over 29 because those two were actually printed on the paper, and then sine 105 over a little c to get that side. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can use the sine 14 over 8, but it's best always to use the stuff that was originally printed on paper if you can. Pythagorean theorem? Absolutely not.
I was gonna say,
Sine, cosine, tangent? No.
you can't do like cosine.
Well, is there a 90-degree angle in that triangle? Yeah. Everything that you learned up to Monday required a right triangle. You can't use Pythag. You can't use SOHCAHTOA if it's not right. So don't do that. And this is why I don't understand, and you guys can maybe help me. Why do they not teach you law of sines in math two and SOHCAHTOA in math two? I feel, no, it's not his fault. It's just the way that it's the way the curriculum is. I think this is easier if you were to just practice, because this works on right triangles too. It's like the quad formula of triangles, works for everything. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I know that Coach T uses it a lot in pre-calc honors. So, if you're interested in that class, you want to master this for sure. Anyway, did you guys get number 11? Okay. Anything else from the quiz review? Yes, honey. Did you divide by -4 first, like I said?
It was like even numbers. It was like, I knew this for one, and two, and then I thought like the X to my 7, and I thought of -4.
Okay. The other day, I said specifically to divide by -4 before you start this problem. And I also said to put this on your paper before you left so you'd know. Okay, now some people in my other classes, fourth and fifth period, wanted to just make this 17 to the 1 and then do same base exponential and cancel out the 17s. Other people wanted to log both sides. What do you want to do? Yeah, this one, where I make this 17 to the 1 and go like this. But the key to that problem is the dividing by -4 first. Otherwise, it's too confusing. So, okay, so we all need to keep this in mind. You cannot log both sides until it looks like this. Base, exponent, answer. And you have to undo everything to get it to here first. Then you get to scroll out of the tree by logging both sides. And it might be like this. This is okay. It just needs to be base, exponent, answer before you can log both sides. Anything else from the quiz review? Okay. What operation is it? Mm-hmm. Did you make this a lot harder than it was? I think you were overthinking it. Okay, guidance circle or cross out. Yeah, because there's logs on both sides. And then just multiply both sides by 3 and then divide by 5. Yeah. You're making it harder. That's got me written all over it, so I understand. We actually have a coaster that my friend bought me that says, now let me overthink this. I put all my drinks on it at home. Mm. Okay, now can you guys find the resource page from 95 to 106? We're not doing anything in the notebook today. This is all review of law of sines, law of cosine, and SOHCAHTOA. It is a PDF. Okay, so because I wasn't here yesterday, normally on something like this, I would just have you work on your groups, but I wasn't here yesterday, so I want to do a couple of them together and get us situated first. Okay, so find this, and now I'm going to put up the actual problem. Here we go. Oh, they drew the art for you. Oh, cripes. Okay. A bridge is being designed to connect two towns, one at point A and the other at point C along the shores of Lake Tofty in Minnesota. Levon has the responsibility of determining the length of the bridge. Since he cannot accurately measure across the lake, AC, he measures the only distance he can by foot, AB. He drives a stake into the ground at point B and finds that AB equals 684 feet. Okay, so you guys on your triangle between A and B on the side of the triangle, write 684. Okay, he drives, oh crap. He also uses a protractor to determine that measure of angle B. How does he do that? But okay, fine. Measure of angle B is 79 degrees. Write that inside the angle B. And measure of angle C is 53 degrees. How long does the bridge need to be? Okay, so which one of the things is the bridge? AC, so put an X there. Okay. First thing we need to do is figure out if it's log sines or log cosines. Log cosines only has two setups, side angle side and side side side. Is this side angle side or side side side? Okay, meaning, do you have two sides in the angle between, or do you have all three sides? No. Okay, look up here. You have numbers on two sides and the angle between them. No, no. And do you have numbers on all three sides? No, so that means it's log sine. Okay, so what you can always do too is try to set up log sines and see if you can get the proportion to set up. So what I mean by that is what I said to Gio earlier, which was, do you see a side and angle across from each other? Do you see 79 and X are across from each other? Do you see 53 and 684 are across from each other? Yes, then you can set up the proportion is what I'm saying. Do you get what I'm saying there? So sine 79 degrees over X equals sine 53 degrees over 684. Do you have any questions about my setup? Is it okay? Sure. Okay, can you guys finish it in your groups in the next 60 seconds? Cross multiply. Use your calculator. I need you to practice this part. I'll find the answer and put it up in a minute. Put your answer on the screen when you're ready. Okay, next one. Number 100. Lake Tofty Part 2. Levon is not convinced his measurements from problem 799 are correct. He decides to calculate the distance again between towns A and C using a different method to verify his results. This time he drives a stake in the ground at point D, which is 800 feet from town A and 694 feet from town C. Okay, so go to your little picture. From point D to point A is 800. And point D to point C is 694. Okay. He also determines that measure of angle D is 68 degrees. Using these measurements, how wide is the lake between points A and C? Does this process confirm the results from problem 7-99? Okay, here's your setup. By the way, the quiz that we're doing today is not a word problem. You don't have to set up the triangle if they're for you. The hardest part about this is deciphering. Okay, now, this is the thing we were just talking about a minute ago. Law of cosines or law of sines. Law of cosines only has two setups. Side angle side and side side side. Side angle side is two sides and the angle between them. You see that that's what this is. Two sides and the angle between them. That means you go up law of cosines. And you could try to set up law of sines, but it would work. Because you wouldn't have two variables. You wouldn't have enough information to be able to do law of sines. Okay, so let's go over law of cosines because I wasn't here yesterday. Okay, you start with the side across from the angle that you have. So that side squared equals the other side squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times both of those sides cosine of the angle between them. So side 1 squared plus side 2 squared minus 2 times side 1 times side 2 cosine of the angle between them. Okay, the key to this is to type it in one foul swoop. So 800 squared plus 694 squared minus 2 times 800 times 694 cosine 68. And then square root. Okay, and this is how I do it because I'm just lazy. I go second x squared, and then I scroll up to the previous thing and hit enter, and it pastes it in. Cheating. Okay, how did Levon do? I mean, not too bad for trying to measure a lake from like points in the towns or hundreds of feet away. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, I don't know how he did any of that. It's just contrived word problem and the math book, but okay. 101. The lid of a grand piano is propped open by a supporting arm as shown in the diagram below. Carson notes that the supporting arm is 2 feet long and makes a 60-degree angle with the piano. He also notes that the piano lid makes a 23-degree angle with the piano. How wide is the piano? Okay, first question I have for you is, how wide is the piano? What side of the triangle is that? How wide is the piano, it's saying? Where's X go? Yeah, the bottom. Great job. Okay, now we say to ourselves, do we have two sides with numbers on them and an angle between them? No. Do we have all three sides? No. That means this is law of sine. Is that making more sense? Okay. You need a teacher. I hate not being here. Drives me crazy. Okay. So do you see a side and an angle across? 23 over 2. And then crap, I got stuck. How do I need the angle across from I can't do it. Mrs. Talbot is so stuck. Yes, honey. Triangle angle sum theorem, right? So you have to actually have that thought though. 180 minus 23 minus 60. Okay, give it a go, guys. You can do it. Fine. That topic is the asymptote. I don't think it's. Okay. Now there are, believe it or not, 8 versions of the quiz.
Ooh.
Some of the versions, they're different. Some of them require you to make sure that you find that third angle before you can set up your log sine. I'm warning you ahead of time that just don't forget that's a thing. Um, so, okay, number 102. Pennant race. Your basketball team has made it to the semifinals and now needs to win only 2 more games to go to the finals. The team's travel plan is to leave Philadelphia and travel 138 miles to the town of Euclid to play the team there. Okay, so put 138 on the top of the triangle there between Philadelphia and Euclid. Then the team will leave Euclid, travel to Pythagoras, and play that team. Finally, the team will travel 97 miles to return home. 97 miles between Philadelphia and Pythagoras. Oh, man. the CPM book thinks that they're just hilarious here. Your team bus can travel only 300 miles on one tank of gas, assuming that all the roads connecting the three towns are straight and the two towns that connect in Philadelphia form a 28-degree angle. Will one tank of gas be enough for the trip? Justify your solution. Okay, so law of cosines only has two setups, side angle side and side side side. This is side angle side. Okay, so put an X over here. Want you to take 2 or 3 minutes. It's just like number 100. Look back at number 100. You can do it. $69.4. Okay, I'm gonna walk around real quick and check and see if you need help. Okay, so once you guys get the 69.4, add up the three sides of the triangle, see if the 300 miles of gas will make it. Are they gonna make it? No. I mean, you push the extra 5 miles. The coach is gonna make them do, okay, move on, flip the page, please. Okay, I don't care about this one or this one. Go down to number 105. You just don't have time. As Frida gazes at the edge of the Grand Canyon, she decides to try to determine the height of the wall opposite her. Using an app on her phone, she determines that the top of the wall is at a 38-degree angle above her, while the bottom is at a 46-degree angle below her, as shown in the diagram at right. If the base of the wall is 250 feet from the point on the ground directly below Frida, determine the height of the wall opposite her. Okay, now this one's different. And I wanted to do this one because I didn't want you to forget that it was a thing. So first thing I want to do is put in right angles there. And what we're trying to do in this problem is find the length of this and the length of this and then add them together. And this part right here is 253. Okay, now we have a right triangle situation, which means that we can use SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Looking at x, which trig function can I use to find x? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Tangent, yes. Tan 38 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, what about y? Which trig function? Tangent again. Tangent 46 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, everybody, multiply both sides by 253 in both equations. Get the answers from the calculator and then add them together to find the height of the wall. Okay, last one, number 106. While facing north, Lisa and Aaron decide to hike to their campsite. Lisa plans to hike 5 miles due north to Lake Tofty before she goes to the campsite. Aaron plans to turn 38 degrees east and hike 7.4 miles directly to the campsite. How far will Lisa have to hike from the lake to meet Aaron at the campsite? Start by drawing a diagram of the situation. Okay, correct. I don't know where any of this is. All right, so 5 miles due north. Where's the campsite? Is this the lake? That's the lake, right? She's going 5 miles due north to the lake. So the campsite must be here. Okay, so that means we need to find that. Okay. Which one is it? Law of sines or law of cosines? Law of cosine. Okay, do it. You can send it to study or on the homework. I just looked at it again. Some of the versions you have to find the other angle. Some of the version, I mean, in some of the versions you have to do the one where you find the angle, which is the sine inverse one. If I were you, I would go back and look at the note at number 67. You guys remember number 67, where the x was in the angle and we had the sine inverse?
Yeah. Oh, good.
Not a big deal, it's just that you get that down to sine instead of just x, and you have to sign in first both sides. The first one on the quiz review that we had, the triangle, you have to do that also. So you could do that one over if you needed to.
I'll go there. I'll go there. Yeah.
You either just take a piece of scratch paper and do number 67 over again on a different spot. Cover it up. Grab a whiteboard marker, do it on the whiteboard. Something.